Hi everyone, today I'm gonna show you my finished coloring pages for 2 months. So I've been coloring a lot during September and October, and I have a lot works to show to you. I thought about actually making this video at the end of November, but I have my birthday at the end of November and I might just not have time for it. You might also hear a lot of fireworks on the background because I'm filming it on the 5th of November, and here in the UK we decided that it's a perfect day to scare all our pets and make them freak out. So I know that it's an important holiday in a way, but it's just so loud and yeah, scary for pets. And my dog is right here near me because she's just sticking to me like an annoying leaf to the shoe because she's so scared and nervous. But anyway, so if you hear a lot of noises, I'm sorry, but I just can't film it on any other day. So we'll have to, work it out. Okay, so the first work I'm going to show you is actually the one I finished in August, but I didn't show it to you in August because I wasn't finished by that time, but it is this one. I think I'm just gonna have a lot of pause to just cut all the noises out. But anyway, this is how this work looked like. So I copied the line from my coloring book, Kaijo, Ancient Kaijo Project coloring book. So I copied all the lines to the canvas, and yeah, it was blank canvas, and then I colored it with oils. I used the reference of the original art, not the Iwasowski one. Although I looked at Iwasowski art as well, but I used I don't remember the name of the artist actually. I will leave a link to his Instagram account in the description box below. So he's amazing artist who's taken a lot of sci-fi elements and putting them to the classic paintings, classic art. So this is the one he did, and I copied his work using oils. I think he's a digital artist, so it was quite hard to follow by using traditional medium. And oil is not the medium I'm very used to work with, because I think I have the most experience with acrylics still. But oils is really one of my favorite mediums because it's so satisfying to work with. So yeah, this was a very, very long project. I think I worked for about 3 weeks on it, maybe less, but alone in terms of hours I spent on it. But I like the result. I think maybe one day I will frame it and put it on the wall. And now let's get back to coloring books. So the first page I finished in September was in the bicycle coloring book, and I really, really liked working on this paper with watercolors, and this was my first page, so I was experimenting a lot. I used watercolors, pencils, and acrylics to create this page. So with watercolors, I established initial layer, initial colors, and then I worked with pencils and acrylics on top. I created this water effect. It should be water effect. It looks more like ice effect, I know, but it should be the water pouring from the door. Yeah. But anyway, maybe it's because it's a desert. Maybe it's so cold that it's actually an ice now, but at the same time we have a lot of florals here, so never mind. The thing I struggled here the most was all these mountains because they are very, very detailed, and I just covered the details because I didn't know how to actually make them detailed, but also seems like they're far away, because I think that the level of detailization lowers as you get further away from the object. So they're pretty far away, and they should not be as detailed as they were drawn by the illustrator. This is what I decided to do, just not to do all these tiny shadows and highlights. Overall, I'm happy with the illustration. I would have done some things differently the second time around, but I had absolutely no experience with this paper, and this is why it wasn't as straightforward of a process as it might be. But I'm really looking forward to coloring more in this book. Yeah, so this was a bicycle coloring book. The second page you actually already saw as a whip. It is in this book, my Forest Girl coloring book, and it is, sorry, I never put any tags to my pages. So it was this page, and when I was working on this page, I actually understood that I never do any patterns on the fabrics on these pages, and it might be a very not a very good decision, not like decision that I'm missing something. So this page for me looks a little bit empty, and I think that a little bit of pattern, for example, on this pillow and on this rug, would actually solve this perceived emptiness. But I already put a fixative on this page, so I'm not going to change anything now, but it is a lesson learned for the further pages that I'm going to do in this book. So I was inspired by the third part of Chronicles of Narnia, so the movie. It was, I don't remember how it's called. So it's this one where they traveled on the ship to a different land. No, very. I can't say that it's a very beautiful movie, but this moment when the picture on the wall, the painting on the wall, starting to become real, and there is a water pouring from the frame, that was absolutely stunning. And this is why I decided to use the color palette from this movie. From another scene though, but still. So I'm quite happy with this page. There are some things that I would have done differently, like pattern, but otherwise I'm very happy with my idea to turn these mountains into waves. So the next page I did in Kirby Rosanes' book. It is a Magimorphia book. It's just Russian edition, and here I did this page. So this page was one of my absolute favorites for a very long time. I really wanted to do it in Kirby book, and after I watched the Handmaid's Tale TV show, I watched the whole 6 seasons while I was sick. I really fell in love with the visual style of the TV show. I will not say anything about the actual plot or compare it with the book, but it's worth watching because of the visual style, and I really like the story and characters, especially characters as well. So on this page I used watercolors for the background. I firstly did the initial layer with acrylic medium, and I hope that it will help me to avoid the bleed through on the page, and it's helped for the most part, but there are still a little bit of bleed through on this page, which not as bad, because I wanted to do the dark background for this page anyway. So I used watercolor for the background, and the rest of the work was done with pencils, and then I did a little bit of acrylic touch-ups on the waves, for example. All this white is just acrylic paints. yeah, and that's it. I think I like finished this work in a few days, I think 2 or 3 days. I had a pause in the middle of the project, as I almost always do. But anyway, in total, it was really like 2 or 3 days. And I'm very, very happy with the result. I think I've managed to do this page justice. So the next one is in this, in my new Tolkien book. So I had Russian edition of this book, which was, I think, half of the size of this one. Yeah, so there are more illustrations in this book, but also the paper is much, sorry, fireworks. So I was talking about the quality of the paper. So in this book, the paper is actually very nice. It's thick. I know that some people find working with water mediums on this paper a little bit disappointing because of the dots, because dots appear when you're working, when you're putting too much water on the page. But for me, it's actually not a problem at all. The main thing that I'm always worried about is the bleed through. So if I don't have bleed through, I don't mind. And also the paper here not getting warped. So this is a major plus for me, because in the previous edition I had, the paper was all warped, and it wasn't very pleasant to work on. So here I did the double page spread, yes, straight away. And it is this one with the ravens. So from what I got about this character, because I haven't read Lord of the Rings, I only watched movies. I'm planning to read it one day, but I'm not here yet. So from what I got is that the character is like a werewolf, but he's turning into a raven. So this is why there are ravens on this page. I'm really pleased with how the raven turns out. There were no brick wall on the background, so I put it here myself. I also like the I always want to say skull, but it's not a skull. Yeah, so I'm very pleased with this helmet. Yes, this is how it's called, helmet. And yeah, I think that effect of fog was quite well done on this page. The only thing that I'm not very keen on is this wooden rails. I don't know. So this is basically the only thing that I'm not too pleased with. The rest of it is good. So yeah, that was the Epic World of Tolkien coloring book. And the last page that I was managed to finish in September was Kirby Rosanes double page spread, and it's this one. To be honest, I'm not a fan. I am absolutely not a fan of this page. I don't like how the sky turns out. I used watercolors. I think, yes, I used watercolors with acrylics. And for the buildings and trees and grass, I used pencils. I'm not a huge fan of this page, and yeah, color palette didn't turn out as I intended it to be. So I used a reference photo with like foggy mountains, and I thought that, well, if I'll use the colors, it will look as stunning as the illustration I used as a reference photo, but no. Oh well, you can't always make great pages, you know, sometimes you need to ruin a page. And also, I wasn't ever actually inspired by this double pager. I think it's very repetitive, and well, I did it and it's fine. Like, I don't mind ruining this page. It's not something that I'm like, oh my gosh, I had such a beautiful image in my head and I could not like really make it justice. No, this illustration never called to me. I only choose it because I was participating in game and I needed to color some abandoned city. and this image is like perfect for this task. But I also never truly wanted to color it. But anyway, one day I want to finish this whole book, so having another page done is anyway good. And in November I started by coloring this page in Tolkien's book again, this one. I'm very pleased with how it turned out. It is exactly as I imagined. I used watercolors for the background, and also I used watercolors for initial layer on fur and for initial layer on the moon as well. And the rest of the work was done with pencils. I thought about like whether I'll need to add acrylics or not, and it turns out I actually managed to do everything I wanted with just watercolors and pencils. So yeah, very happy with this page. It is the only spooky page I've managed to color this October, which is a shame because I have a lot of beautiful Halloween illustrations, but I never get around to them. So yeah, this October, this was my Halloween page. I also did a painting when I was on vacation in Turkey. I decided to try to do an oil painting. It has no artistic value, only sentimental one, and I actually gave it to my mom so she could have something that will remind her about this vacation and about me. For the first try ever to paint something from, nature, it's fine. And speaking about drawing stuff, I did this page in my Japanese fairy tale coloring book. And this is supposed to be Mikasa Ackerman from Attack on Titan, amazing anime, which I rewatched again a few weeks ago. And I was so inspired to do Mikasa like anywhere. Actually, to have any illustration done which would be dedicated to Attack on Titan. And I chose this page. It was a completely different one. It looks something like this. And I basically redraw the character. So I use the gest, so the posture, but the rest of it is completely drawn by me. Her costume, her swords, and so on. And only after I finished, I all the time I thought that there is something wrong with her, that I missed something crucial. And only after I finished completely, I spotted that I actually missed her vertical maneuvering equipment. So in this anime, they use this like so they use these blades, and they need to use a new blade from time to time, and they are actually carrying their spare blades with them on this like thing, I don't know, blade holder. So I totally forgot about it. And also I forgot about wires that need to be connected between her vertical maneuvering equipment and blades, because they're using them to maneuver in space. Anyway, yeah, so she is not actually herself. And also I struggled with face. I tried to make her look even a tiny bit like Mikasa, but I'm not an artist, I'm just colorist, and it's very different experience to try to draw something yourself. Everything here is done with acrylic paint. So all this background and everything was done with acrylic paints. And I actually very like the background, except for these red splashes. I think I could place them like more in a more interesting way, but the rest of it is cool. I like it. This blue background. I think I'm gonna use it again in some different pages. And after I did Mikasa, because I was so inspired, that I even postponed my another illustration that I had to finish for a body color. So I started to do this page. It took me like 2 days, maybe 3 days to finish, and I had tons of acrylics on my wet palette, and if I wouldn't use it, it would be wasted. So I needed to use this acrylic paint, and I had a whip in this book, and I decided to finish this whip, and it is this one. So this is another character from a series that I actually quite like, but it's not a TV series, it's a book series. This is Kaladin from, oh my gosh, Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. I also redid the illustration a little bit, so I used the Kaladin character and Seal character exactly as they were there, but the background I changed completely. There were some like trees on the background here, and I turned it into Shattered Plains. It is a location from the book. And yeah, I really love how my Seal turned out. She's so cute and innocent, exactly as she should be. She's a spirit, kind of, in this story. And yeah, I tried to depict Kaladin with, well, in the book, he's a mix of, as far as I can judge, a mix of Hawaiian, native Hawaiians, and Japanese, but I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, and the skin tone I struggled with because I never ever tried to depict any skin tone other than white on page. And in this book, I actually did, yeah, this portrait before, which is, you see, there is no shadowing at all. It's very plain. Yeah, very plain, very like stylized anime style face. And also I did this one, and it was actually, it was, I think, exactly 1 year ago. So 1 year ago I colored like this. um does it look better? I don't actually know. I don't know, but yeah, I enjoyed working on this page, and also I didn't have to waste my acrylic paints. So this is my 2 pages done in Japanese fairy tale coloring book. I also finished one whip, which I had for quite a while, and I did it in like, I don't know, 2 hours. Yes, I think I spent about 2 hours on this page, but I kind of like the result. It was very quick, very relaxing coloring. I did everything completely with watercolors. The paper in this book is so-so. It does not allow you to spread watercolor well, so once it's on the page, it stays there. But if you're working with very, very light layers, and I can only work like this with watercolors, I'm too scared to work in any other technique. So if you're working with very light layers, it's actually quite manageable and enjoyable. Kind of cool. For such simple illustration, I was managed to do something beautiful with it. So kind of like this work. And the last page I'm going to show to you guys as my finished pages is in this book. And this book is actually has a very warm story to it. I think in the previous video I showed that I bought another Tomislav Tomic book. It was out of print, sold everywhere except for one Croatian website, and I ordered it for not a very, so the cost of the book was very low, but the cost of the delivery was very, very high. So I paid, I don't know, 45 euros for the book. I don't remember, honestly. But one of my subscribers in the comments to the video said that she has this book, Villain Sun, the second book, in her local bookstore. And she actually said that she can send it to me. And it was such a lovely, I felt like a celebrity Like, I have a subscriber that sent me something, not for free, of course, but you know, it's like, it's such an amazing story. So I adore this book now very much. So thank you a lot. And I propose to do a body color for the page, and my lovely subscriber picked the page herself. And yeah, so I will insert her page now, if she will be so kind to send it to me. So with this illustration, I really like how she went for bright, like very, very out there colors. I don't think that I am doing it enough. Like this grass, which she did with intent, by the way, looks like a part of animated movie. And also my body told me that she was very relaxed working on this page and happy to do it. And I think this is the main thing we all are looking for in our hobby. And I really like the fact that she enjoyed this page. So it means that maybe one day she will be more inclined to do another one with me. And I did it like this. I finished it today. It took me literally ages to finish it. I don't know, I struggled so much. The paper is amazing, especially when using Blender, but there are so many details. Like, I spent a lot of hours on this grass. I did everything with pencils. I think I based grass and a swan with a tiny bit of watercolor, but it was so, like, it was one super transparent layer. Honestly, I shouldn't even bother because it made absolutely no difference. But the rest of it I did with pencils. And also I did this water circus, shiny circus with white gel pen. So it's not shiny, it's not like glittery, but it's just, they're supposed to look like it's light. So this was my first ever illustration in Tomislav Tomik. I love this book very much. I enjoyed the process, but it took me ages. So I think for me, it's more complicated than Kirby. Kirby pages usually don't take me that long, but I'm very pleased with the result. And talking about Kirby, so I did this one like today. I finished it today, and these swans from Kirby I did about a year ago. So this is 1 year difference between these swans. I know that the style is very different, but I'm actually very pleased with how much my skill grown. I actually like this page anyway. I think it's a nicely done page. It's just this one is more realistic. I also hid most of the black lines, which I didn't bother there to do so. So yeah. I can't believe that this illustration is finally finished. I don't think that I will be able to get round to this book anytime soon again, but if I would, I think the next one that I would like to do would be something water themed. I like these 2 pages, for example, or it might be this tree. I really, really like this illustration. So, but basically every illustration in this book is absolutely gorgeous. I can't even, I actually thought that I will never ever own this book because I could not find it, but thank you so much for helping me to have this book in my collection. I really like how he depicting eggs in nests. They look so cozy here in this nest. So I think this one is the only page I'm not actually a huge fan of because of this frame. I don't get it. I don't think that I will enjoy coloring it because with this frame, I didn't struggle, but it's a small one, and this one is huge. But anyway, such a beautiful book. I don't know why I'm keep flipping it through. I think all of you already saw this book many times, and a lot of you actually colored it much more than I did. But yeah, gorgeous book. And now let me show you some of my whips. It won't be long because I have only 4 whips right now. So one of them is this one. I actually worked on this one. I finished this flowers and this one. So on this page I'm working with acrylics, and it's just for mindless coloring when I need to unwire and just relax and not think about my colors and shades and everything. And this page is prepared for very detailed coloring, so I put my Terrier acrylic paint on it, and I will be doing very realistic coloring of these flowers. I think I will try to find something made by Chris Chen, and I will try to replicate her way of working with petals and flowers. I think she obviously never done this page, but I think I can find something similar and just copy it in a more, creative way. And another whip that I have is in this book. Honestly, after this page, like the first page I've done in this book turned out so great. It was this one. I love it still so much. It's a little darker here. It's not so dark, but anyway, I love this page. And the second one I did was this one, and I was so disappointed. I still think that it's one of my ugliest works so far. Like, I don't like it at all. And after this, I was so uninspired to continue working in this book. But then I started this page, and I wanted to do it in a Thomas Kincaid style, but I'm not, everything here is done with pencils so far, but I'm not as good a pencil colorist. So, and Thomas Kincaid actually worked with oils on his pages. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover everything with acrylic paint, with a thick layer of acrylic paint, and then I will work with oils on top of acrylic. I know that one day these oils might go bad and I will lose the work and blah blah blah, but I can't see this page now in any other style, and I can't imagine doing it with any other medium rather than oils. Maybe I will try acrylics, but I'm still not sure. Like, I don't know, maybe not. Depends on my mood. But with pencils, I'm just not able to do this page justice. I see that I already took a lot of tooth from the paper here, and now I think that I need to do the wall way darker than it is now. And also these bricks, I would rather do all the walls with these bricks, like to paint them rather than color with color pencils. But anyway, this book is a struggle for me now. And I also created a whip in this book. Literally yesterday, I was just waiting for something, I don't know. I was working on my Tomislav Tomic page. I stopped for some reason, and I just decided, I have this book. It's not started even. I have no pages done in this book. And the illustrations here are very big. And I wanted to know whether I could do it with watercolors, because they're so big. I can't imagine myself doing all of this with just pencils. It will take me ages. So I decided to test watercolors, and I use granulating watercolors from White Knight, and as you can see, the paper warped quite a bit, but no blades through. And what it means to me is that I can actually, if I'll cover with water the whole page, just take a very thick a big brush and I just cover all the page with water, it will like spread as it needs to spread, and I can work on top with watercolor, so use wet on wet technique. It will be a very strange experience. I never done anything like this, but I saw it on Alex's channel. I will leave a link in the description box below. So she's basically doing it with her Amazon printed coloring books. Yes, they are single-sided, but I had no bleed through on this book, so I think I'm gonna try. Maybe I'll use what we have on the last page. Oh no, we don't have a last page. Maybe I'll use this. I have another test page. I'll use this page to test. But anyway, even if I'll fail miserably, still, I can use watercolors in a very, like, not putting too much water, not working wet on wet technique, but just using it a tiny bit to just creating this initial layer of color. So yeah, now I have a bit whipping it. So this was all my completed coloring pages for 2 months and also a little bit of whips. If we are considering my oil paints, or my vacation oil paints as a page done, so as an art project, it means that I had 5 and 5, so 5 pages done in September and 5 projects done in October, which is actually one more than I usually manage to do. So usually for me it's 4 pages per month, and I already have 1 page done in November, my Atomic page, and I think that the rest of the months will be much more easy than this page was. So until next time, have a lovely coloring time. I hope you had a great Halloween, and I hope your Halloween coloring was more exciting than mine, so you did more than 1 page. And I wish you a very, very happy November, and I'll see you next time, I hope at the end of the month, or maybe it will be in December, when I'm going to show you my pages for November and December done, and probably my pages for my favorite pages of the year. I'm already starting to think about what I'm gonna put in this list. So yeah, enjoy your coloring time, and bye bye.